looks like. Okay, all right. So you can be a smoke man for a couple, and then you can be the smoke man for a couple, and then you can be the smoke man for a couple.
It's like I'm not
So
exposed.
give us some smoke right up here. Yep, right up in there. Can you reach there? Get a little more. There we go. See them all going back down. Yeah, they're really going to town, aren't they? So we also just quickly check for the queen on the lid. We look good there. Now, what's cool is when you look straight down, one reason I like working my hives from the back like this is as soon as I look down, I got a complete snapshot of this colony. I know exactly what's going on before I even get inside of here. When I look straight down, I can see the top of the frames are all built out and full of honey on every single one of them, all the way across. And if you look, you see bees on every single seam, and they're all looking right up at us in every single seam. Well, if they were busy working and had stuff to do, they'd be right there looking, checking us out. So this box is absolutely jammed full right now before we even get in there. So go ahead and just give us a little bit of smoke. They seem chilled out, but let's give them a little smoke on top. There we go. Now what I like to do is when I'm looking down into the box and choosing which side of the box do I start working from first, I'll look down and I'll see which frame is the least invasive to work. So if I look down on this one, this particular frame has wax and honey built out on the top all the way down. This one does here, but I've got some voids here. There's a little bit more bees on these two seams than there is here. So I'm going to start getting into the colony from this side. So what I'll do is I'll put my hive tool in this way, and I'll just move all those frames over to that side wall there, and I'll move these over to this side wall here. Now look at all this extra space it just gave me right here. I got a whole new seam that I can work the bees. I haven't crushed anybody, haven't hurt them. So now I'm just going to open up the frame here. We're going to pull this first one out.
I'm so scared.
Here we go. What are we going to see?
Oh, there's.
What do you see?
Oh, there's baby bees hatching everywhere.
Baby bees hatching everywhere. So we have a brood frame, sealed brood, baby bees hatching out everywhere.
Yeah.
We got a nice honey band on top, pretty yellow wax. Now, what do you guys do about this stuff? Does this stuff bother you when you see this?
Yeah.
Well, here's where this becomes a problem. If we let the bees just do what they do, they will draw some wonky stuff. Do you want wonky comb in there? Hives up, how you work your frames. So now I'm not having to try and put things back in the same order. I started from this side, I pulled this one out and went here. Everything went this way, and now that just goes right. It's just do things decently, in order, go through here. They don't care at all which place that this is or where it kind of goes. Now when I put these back, what I make sure I do is I put the ears together on both sides to keep the frame, to keep the wax nice, and I keep my spacing going down here the same. We're happy. They're creating a resource. So now what we're going to do is we're going to checker. You guys heard the term checkerboard, right? We've used that technique for so long. It works great. It's a very old technique. It's simple. All we're doing is moving some resources up and giving them fresh resources to work down below.
Is that the best way to do it when you're adding a?
I like to.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, that's what I like to do.
I think that's a great idea.
So we're just going to take this one out.
Takes the
We're just going to build a little bit. We're going to build a bridge vertically. So we're going to leave this one in place, and then the frame that I pulled out there, we're going to put right above that in the box above.
Oh. Okay.
That way they're just going to. It's a ladder. They're going to go straight up. Do they need that? Not really. Do I think it helps them? I don't know. To me, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
To keep them moving in the channel this way, and then they can move out. Same thing with this one. It doesn't even matter at all where this queen is at, one bit. So we're going to have one in the middle, and then we're going to have a blank. We're just going to mirror this. Because you guys noticed how many frames of cat brood we had in there, right? Every single one of them had brood on it.
Yeah.
So that's 5 frames with sealed brood on both sides. How many baby bees is getting ready to hatch?
2,000.
Yeah, per sheet. That's like, what, 10 to 15,000 bees on their way. Now it's a 5-frame box, so we can't exactly mimic that.
Okay.
But we've got this one coming up. We've got this one coming up. That's going to give them plenty of room to kind of do everything. Now, this is really complicated. Here we do. We just take this. Okay, smoke man, give us some smoke on that outside edge. We're just going to, right here, we're going to have these bees just kind of get out of the way there. There we go. I'm just going to rock our box just a little bit. Thank you, ladies. Pardon me. Excuse me.
They're really swimming in front.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
They're a little agitated, huh?
Here we go. We just take this. Pretty good. Looks like we had a ton of bees on this inner cover when we put it on there. Because we've got a bunch of squashed ones.
Smells good.
The dead bees smells
No,
good?
the box.
It does. That is the cool thing about that, or the lid. When you get on top, it just like smells super good. So we got a lot of bees hanging out. I don't like this. I don't like having the bees up here fooling around. They got no business being up here.
That's what I
They're going to create a problem and create a mess for us. I don't particularly myself care for that. But oh boy, you don't want to see inside here.
It's horrible.
Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
You don't think you want to see this? That's a box of bees right there.
Oh, jeez.
Interestingly enough, look at the difference. Look how many bees are on this side, and look how many bees are on this side.
Yeah, I don't
And
get
this
it.
one was face down.
You ever put an inner cover between your super and your bottom boxes?
Nope, I've never have. You?
I have on one, just testing.
How'd that
Yeah.
work? That's heavy. You start to pick it up. You can close your eyes and pull a frame out and know what's on it.
Yeah.
This is loaded full of nectar. It is so heavy. And they still have a lot of room to go. I mean, that's a lot. Dan, what's a deep? Probably 4.5 frames. Ed,
Yes, sir.
4.5 frames on a deep honey.
Probably.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a lot, but when it's crawling around with a pound of bees, it stacks up. So I get in the habit when I do something like this, I just stick. Now this is a time where you don't want to dilly dally. When we have open nectar and honey like this out of a box, if we were in a time where they were really hungry and there's a dearth, there's nothing going on out there, this is a robbing magnet. And we're going to start to see everyone drawn to this. It's going to get these guys stirred up. So when we get later in the year, be quick with your inspections when you do something like this. Because we don't want to cause robbing by having nectar open like this.
So what happens if other bees start to rob that and then you put it back into the thing?
They'll fight them off and run them out.
So,
Yep.
and if it's a weak
If it
hive,
gets too bad, though, you're going to have a cloud of bees here and everyone's going to be upset at you. And that's a whole other thing. So you can see all the larvae inside of here, all the sealed brood. They're looking beautiful. I love the dark bees. There are so many dark. We have gray and black.
Yeah,
There's some
dark
gold and
ones.
black.
Yeah.
So why the mixture?
These are Carney Italian hybrids. So these are specifically bred to kind of be the boast of both worlds, rather than being straight Italians or straight Carneys. So we've got here a perfect example of this was a brood frame. The brood hatched out. They started backfilling it. They ate the honey. Now they're in there actually laying up and developing all the larvae. Same thing on this side. You can see down below, it's all the sealed brood. And we have open larvae up top here. And what do we have there? Is this the example of that is the fat squatty light bulb. It has tall shoulders up here, and it goes nowhere, like a teacup. It's just there, nothing inside. They're checking the inside out, but they don't do anything with it. So when I see those, I just smush them. That way next week, next time I get back in this colony, if I see a new one, I know it's a new one, rather than seeing the same old one every single time.
Another one.
This is the trouble that you have if you aren't on top of things every single week. This frame here is, I mean, they're getting to be pollen and nectar bound. All the resources are right here, right behind the hatchings. If that keeps up, this entire box would be full of resources this time of year, and no place for her to lay unless we give her a place to lay. That's why we like to get in there every week if we can. You know, if this is a resource and we're manipulating the resource for maximum growth, you got to get in here and give them the place, the space to do it. Otherwise, they are just make do with what they have, which means they make a mess, but they're also going to backfill. They can think about, there's one queen laying an egg if we timed it, I don't know how many seconds, right? But think about how much of a field force there is right now that are bringing home the goods. They way outnumber her. Yep, every queen is marked. That way I know exactly how old she is. I know her birthday. When we do all of our grafting, I know who her mama was, what day she came out, what traits she may or may not express. It's just a way we can control our genetics, see how they do, and then always keep doing better and breeding from the best is one way. And we talked about earlier, the prolificness of a 1-year queen. Not that a 2-year queen is bad, but a 1-year queen is a lot more predictable than a 2-year queen, and is definitely way more predictable than a 3-year queen. And where that makes a difference is as we're trying to make moves and plan growth, try to gauge or guess on yields, it's helpful to have everything uniform and balanced at the same speed, and there's less back and forth. This is this small, this is a medium, this is a, like when they're even across the board, it's a lot easier, I think, to manipulate the growth.
And
And then I want to be able to
they have
isolate my greater queen right inside this box,
yeah, they're like
make it into a timing box. So she's laying on 1 frame only for 3 days. Then I come in at that time, pull that frame, I have exactly the age material I need to graft some. I go back, I graft, I bring it back, put it in my cell builder, they can keep doing their thing. Once they get this big, I will split this breeder colony down. And I'll take a lot of these frames right back.